fully flat finger, right? We don't want any, of course.
Where in the middle?
So we can hear it.
In the middle of clavicle?
Above.
No, the clavicle's on the front. This is the back.
Okay.
This is the scapula.
Scapula,
above, right where the muscle is.
Uh-huh.
Right on the edge of the muscle. 1, 2. 1, 2. Don't go like this.
No.
Some students like to do that. There's no reason to do that. 1, 2, and you're hitting right here in the middle. Don't hit on the. Don't put your finger like this and go like this. You're not doing anything.
Yeah.
Right? Don't go like this because you're hindering yourself with the fingers. Put it flat. Completely flat. 1, 2. Next, you're moving right above the bone of the scapula this time. Put your finger. And the same on the other side. Next, you're going to be working this way. You're switching because the scapulas are here, so you want to go this way. You put the finger here at the top. This is going to be already close to the third rib, right? And you're comparing this way. 1, 2. But now the problem is that here we have the heart, and here we have the stomach. The air bubble of the stomach. When the X-ray, remember the air bubble of the stomach? Which means that this sound is going to be duller because of the heart, and here we're going to get more tympanic because of the stomach. So when we're comparing, we cannot compare this to this because this is going to be dull, and we cannot compare this to this because this is going to be more tympanic. So when we compare, we go like this. You understand?
Okay.
Once we get below the air bubble of the stomach, then we can continue this way. And finally, one of the major mistakes on the module is students going like this. That's a mistake.
Again, Miss Teacher.
That's a mistake.
All
right? So, point 1, comparison. Point 2. Point 3. Point 4, same place, below. Point 5, same place, below. And then moving on to point 6. Below, already, this is the angle. This is the air bubble of the stomach, so you want to be here. And finally here. You can still hear the lungs here. Comparative percussion.
Teacher, can you repeat the 4th point, please?
Why? It's the same point. 1,
3.
2,
Okay.
3, 4,
Mm-hmm.
5,
Okay.
right?
Then you come
6,
Mm-hmm.
and 7.
7.
That should be enough for any child. You're big, so you can actually get, I can do more points here for comparison.
Yeah.
But for children, usually 7 is enough, a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
On the front. On the front, you can go with the apex, which you can do it like this. Apex. Apex. Then the clavicle. You don't need your finger for the clavicle. You can hit on the clavicle itself. Then you can go below the clavicle. Right? And depending on the age of the child, you either comparing these points, if it's a small child, or you can do one lower, because the hard border doesn't start yet. And compare this point, and then you can continue on with this. Right? And once you get down, the heart should end here, the stomach doesn't yet start, which means you can still compare these points above the liver. That's all. Then the liver starts and then you're done. So sometimes you can get these points above the liver on the axillaris anterior, sometimes you don't. Mostly you're just going to be going on media until you hear the liver. The dullness of the liver, so you're only comparing 1 apex, 2 clavicle, 3 below. In some children you can do 4 below, and then 5, 6, and that's the liver, and you're done. On occasion, sometimes you can do the 7th point. If it's a tall child, you can do a 7th point, try to find it here, see if it works.
Okay.
Comparative percussion.
Teacher, also 7 point, yeah?
6 mostly.
Mm-hmm.
Kearney's fields. You want, this is the apex. Kearney's fields are the apex. So you start here in the middle of the apex and you go up until you hear dull sound, and you go down. Right? And then you want to go side to side. And this way. See a change in sound. Find the diameter of the Kearney's fields. That's the percussion of the apex. Another thing you want to do is the excursion. The excursion is usually done after you find the topographical percussion. Topographical percussion is really easy. Media clavicularis, go down until you find the liver. For adults, you can do more lines. For children, enough to do 5. Media axillaris, go down until you find the liver.
Mm-hmm.
Scapularis, go down on the, right below the angle of the scapula. Scapularis on the other side, same thing until you find the border of the lung. And the left axillaris media, and that's all, 5 lines. Here's the heart, so you don't do it. 5 lines. Media clavicularis dexter, media axillaris dexter, scapularis dexter, scapularis dexter, and media axillaris.
Teacher.
Yeah, media axillaris.
Could you repeat what you said about the scapularis? Scapularis.
Scapular line.
Mm-hmm.
Percuss down. The right scapular line, and the same thing, the left scapular line.
Okay.
You find the borders.
Mm-hmm.
Once you find the border, you're really interested only in 1 or 2 places, depending. And that's the axillaris media line. Here you find the border, and then you want to do excursion. You ask the patient, okay, take a deep breath and hold it. And you percuss down until you find the new border. Okay, exhale and hold it. Exhale and hold it.
Oh,
No, go like this.
That's different.
Oh.
And hold it.
Like this?
And hold it. And you percuss up. And no, don't breathe.
Okay.
You have to hold. You have to go like this first.
Okay.
We percuss down. Then you go like this. And we percuss up. And we find the excursion distance.
Got it.
Okay? So find the border, then breathe in. He breathes in, we percuss down, then he exhales, and we percuss up and we find the distance.
Okay.
That's the excursion. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And finally, auscultation. So, during comparative percussion, normal sound is resonance, right? But for obstructive bronchitis, the sound will be more tympanic, sometimes called box-like sound. Like an empty box, right? That's for emphysema, which is typical for obstructive bronchitis. And during auscultation for obstructive bronchitis, we will hear 2 things. 1, expiration time will increase. The patient inhales, exhales. Normally, we hear it during auscultation like this, as inhalation 1, 2, 3, 4, exhalation 1. Then we don't hear it because it's passive. So you go. That's all you hear of exhalation. 1/4 of exhalation you hear during auscultation. The rest you don't hear. But if there's obstructive bronchitis, you hear the entire exhalation, which may even be more than the inhalation. So inhalation goes, exhalation. So prolonged exhalation that we hear. That's 1. 2 is we hear dry whistling rels. Dry whistling rels during auscultation. Auscultation points apex, under the clavicle, right? Then next one below the clavicle. And here we can go down, on the axillary, on the other side on the axillary. Then we can move on to the back. Apex on the back, shoulders forward. Here.
You mean the points?
The same one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Same place for auscultation. When you auscultate on the upper regions, you simply listen to the way the patient breathes. The best thing is if the patient either breathes normally with his nose, or if his nose is completely clogged, slowly trying to breathe normally through his mouth. Or nose-mouth. When you're listening to anything below here, so once you're getting to the lower segments, you want the patient to take deep breaths. Usually inhaling through his nose, exhaling through the mouth. Because you want to ventilate the lungs. If he's breathing superficially, the lower segments are not being ventilated, you can't hear anything. Obstructive bronchitis will give us whistling sound, whistling rels during expiration, during exhalation. Okay? Bronchiolitis gives us symptoms of basically mixed between bronchitis and obstructive bronchitis. And in general, you can have obstructive bronchitis and regular bronchitis, which means that you take the bronchoobstructive syndrome and lay it over the bronchitis. So you